Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to talk about an article that was published on Christmas Eve about Onision. So in this article, Sarah is being interviewed. So this is the article. It was published by Newsweek. Sarah on her relationship with YouTuber Onision. Why did you think this was okay? I don't know. I don't like the title of the article. It kind of implies that she is at fault when she isn't. So I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Probably. Probably I'm reading too much into this. I will not read the whole article because, damn, it is long. I will leave the link to the article in the description box below. This is a long article and it details Sarah's experience. YouTuber James Onision Jackson, also known as Greg Jackson, oh god, he changes his name so much. Anyways, is a self-proclaimed professional troll with more than 5 million subscribers across his 3 YouTube channels. He also has a complicated past. Somebody needs to correct the grammar there. He says he owed over $150,000 to the IRS in 2017. The IRS declined to comment, was ordered to pay $90,000 by Pierce County in Washington for disturbing the wetlands in his backyard, which he claims to have paid and is currently replanting, and has written 3 poorly received books. Multiple women, including Billy Dawn Webb and Canadian singer Shiloh, have shared stories of their personal relationships with Jackson on Twitter and in YouTube interviews with Vincent Nicotra and Chris Hansen, the former host of MSNBC's To Catch a Predator. Jackson's current partner is Kai, a Jackson fan who identified as a woman named Lainey until March of 2017. Kai married the YouTuber in 2011 when he was 17 and Jackson was 26. The pair have 2 children together. Kai did not respond to repeated requests for comment. Newsweek reached out to Sarah to share her story, who once was a fan of Kai, who visited and lived with the YouTuber couple multiple times over 3 years. She says she did not have sex with Jackson until she was age 18, and Jackson says the same. But she claims that Jackson and Kai groomed her whilst she was still a minor. Newsweek confirmed Sarah's identity but are withholding her last name at her request. Newsweek sought comment from Jackson, who spoke over phone and then shared this statement for follow-up questions over email. The grooming stuff is absolute nonsense. You don't have to believe me. You just have to listen to the original statements made by the same person who now completely changed her story despite repeatedly saying the opposite as an adult who was at the time living across the country in Michigan, referring to the video posted by Sarah in January defending Jackson. That's all that he has. I'm sorry, I wasn't gonna interject here, but this is all that he has, is that one video. That's all that he fucking has. And yeah, technically speaking, she might be an adult, but we know that Onision pressured her into making that video and she was uncomfortable, and the bloopers that she released shows that she was having a hard time making that video. And this is the only thing that he has. He just keeps repeating the same goddamn thing like it's gonna convince anyone. It might convince the remaining fans that he has, but he is not fucking fooling anyone else. Anyways, moving on. This is Newsweek's Q&A with Sarah, edited for space and clarity. When did you first learn about Onision? I was 11 or 12. One of his videos popped up in my recommended feed. He talked about stuff I related to, like school issues, what do you do when people are mean to you, or when you are depressed. When was your first contact with Kai or Jackson? I sent him an email about not being able to log into the forums when I was 13, but we didn't have a private conversation. He just said, try this, and I went, Cool. The first time I had contact with Kai was when I had just turned 14, 3 days prior through Twitter direct message. He asked me how old I was. What was the conversation like or about? I said, "You're going to turn 20 soon," and Kai was like, "Oh, I'm having a quarter life crisis." We started talking on Kik Messenger a lot after that. When did the conversations start to become more personal? We ended up in a group chat with Regina, a member of Onision's forums, and Kai would talk about his personal sex life with Greg, and I was 14 at the time. We would send lewds to each other because at the time Kai was identifying as a straight woman. He wasn't even out as a bisexual, so I thought it was innocent. I don't know what to say. That is horrifying. Sarah's story is fucking horrifying. And how old was Kai? We first started talking a couple of months before Kai's 20th birthday. So when we first became friends, I was 14. We started romantically talking when I was 15 and Kai was 21. What were you talking about? The first time they broke up with Billy, Kai was devastated and Greg didn't want it to talk about it. He was like, "Move on or divorce me. I don't want to talk about this. I don't care if your feelings are hurt." What? That makes I don't know if you remember this. When when Billy left Onision's house, Onision would make video after video talking about how it was Lainey who was hurt in this situation and how it was Lainey who had the brunt of this breakup, and would make Lainey the victim. And behind the scenes, he was like, "Move on or divorce me." Oh, wow. He isn't even consistent in his fucking stories that he keeps telling himself. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Kai is just the bait, right? Kai really is the bait for these relationships. I don't think that Billy or Sarah or any of these girls were really into Greg, but they stayed for Kai. Okay, moving on. So Kai would talk to me because I would let him talk to me however long he wanted about whatever he wanted all day. And I would just sit there and try to help him. And we became super close. And Kai knew that I was into women. And I was like, "I kind of like you." I didn't say it outright. I made a tweet and Kai went, "Who is this tweet about?" And I was like, "It's about you." And she went, "I feel the same." We would start romantically talking, playing 20 questions, asking, "Are you submissive, dominant, or switch?" Looking back at it now, I don't know why, because I was 15 and had no clue about any of that. Is Jackson involved at this point? He is. The first time he ever saw me, Kai showed him a picture of me when I was 14, and he went, "Oh, she's cute." Then, when I was 15 and we were talking, Kai said that Greg had told him, though Lainey was a her at the time, "Why don't we just wait for Sarah? We can just wait for Sarah to turn 18. That is burned into my freaking brain. I was 15 and Greg was 30 years old. So he had fucking clear intentions of what he wanted to do with Sarah. He had the clearest intent. How do you deal with this with hindsight you have now? It's weird. I just turned 19 in August and I grew up with all of my teen years dealing with this. Becoming an adult, I have realized that all of the other adults telling me this was a bad situation, now I understand why. Because normally adults don't do this. I don't want to be friends with a 14-year-old or romantically talk to a 15-year-old. When you turn 16, what happens? Kai had a baby shower and calls me one day crying, asking if I would come to his baby shower in a few months, and I said, of course. The baby shower was in September, a month before my 16th birthday. So I came up and meet them for the first time. Greg was super nice to me, patting my hair and saying, "You're so mature for your age." I feel like I'm hanging out with a 20-year-old. Now I'm like, red flag. Yeah, that is a fucking red flag. But I remember that in my past, if somebody would have said that I am more mature for my age, I would have taken that as a compliment. Not anymore, but there was a time period in my life where I would have taken that as a compliment. So that is scary to think about. This is a red flag. Okay, this is a clear red flag. Kai would put his legs on me. It was just a weird vibe. It wasn't normal. I was so excited because I had my favorite celebrity couple move me into their house, and I was like, holy shit, this is cool. So what happens after the first trip? I went back for a month and they invited me to come live out in their house in Washington. I was having problems at home and it was really all of a sudden. When was your power of attorney signed over? In early November. My mom went and signed over my medical power of attorney so that if an emergency happens, they would have the rights. Why did your mother sign it over? Yeah, that is my question as well. I don't know. She just did. Me and Kai had been friends for so long, and my mom didn't really knew about any of the sexual or romantic stuff that was going on. She was just like, this YouTube couple wants you to move out there. That's cool. Go, go for it. Have you ever talked about it with her since? No. I just feel that Sarah's situation is one of the worst situation in all of this because, you know, almost everyone else, Regina, even Shiloh, almost everyone else had parents that stopped them. The Haley's parents didn't even allow her to move out, and she knew it. She knew that her parents would never, ever would have allowed their daughter to go out and move in with this YouTube couple. But Sarah's story is the answer to the question, what if the parents just went along with it? And that is really fucking, I don't know, that's really sad. That is really, really sad. And to think that these people, Onision and Kai, used this girl who was in a vulnerable position for manipulation. It's so fucking gross. It's really fucking bad. Shiloh's dad was ready to go to jail for her daughter. Haley knew that her mother would never, ever say yes to her moving out with this YouTuber couple. But because Sarah was in such a vulnerable position, she was exploited by these fucking evil people. Moving on. Now you're at home. What is happening for those 4 months? There was relationship drama with Billy, so it was mostly just me trying to take care of Kai as her friend. My mom was just giving me money each month to live off of, and I was just going with them. Did anything sexual happen at the time? No. Greg did make a comment about my ass while nobody else was in the room. I would lay in the bed with them sometimes. It was kind of creepy. Greg would give me little touches here and there. Ooh, ah. That's not just kind of creepy, that's definitely creepy. That is fucking creepy. I would sit in the bathroom with Kai while he was bathing or talk to him while I was in the shower. Why were you in the bathroom? Kai said it was to help him with the kids because he would bathe with kids and then I would get them out. I would just sit there and talk with him while he was in the bath. He just wanted someone to be with him. We never did anything sexual, but Kai was naked in front of me all the time. At the time, are you going to school? It should be at the time were you going to school. Sorry, I don't mean to be a grammar Nazi because I'm bad at grammar as well, but never mind. I was doing online classes. Damn, how long is this article? Oh my god, I'm just halfway through. I've been recording this video for like 30 minutes now. I think I'm gonna have to really edit it down. So when did you visit again? We didn't talk for a few months, but they were going to fly me out on August 4th, a day before my 18th birthday. Then Greg pushed it up a month, so I came to their home on July 4th, 2018. Greg was much nicer, saying you can shower with Kai because you're about to be 18. Ooh. Okay, moving on. I started to feel like something was happening. I was like, there's no way he's not going to do that. And then he did. What happened? Greg said there's a possibility for us to be in a three-way relationship. And I just started crying because I was so confused and I knew this was going to happen. I was just overwhelmed with emotion. I was afraid. I was angry because how could you say all these things for me for all these years and then just switch? Like, did you know what was there? I was just very confused. And I didn't press the issue at all. I just left it alone. Greg really was the one who was pushing it to go forward. What was the atmosphere like after being in three-way relationship? I was just going to do what they say and follow their lead because I got caught up in their flow. The dynamic switched. I would ask Greg what he wanted to watch tonight, and he would say to watch you and Kai make out. Oh, Greg is a 30-year-old man, and Sarah had just turned 18. Oh, my brain is fucking broken. Good job, Greg. You broke my mind. He would give me massages where he was on me and pressing his whatever on my lower back. I would sleep in their bed sometimes. And it must be like so emotionally fucking traumatic for Sarah to have gone through this. It's hard for me to even imagine being in that scenario, and Sarah had lived through it throughout her teenage years. So you leave. When do you come back? In December of 2018 for Christmas, since I had no plans, Kai FaceTimes me in early December and Greg took the phone from her and said, I miss you. And I was like, what? They said they will fly you out for Christmas. I went there and it was supposed to be platonic, but then Kai wanted me to sleep in their bed. Greg was like, Kai wants to give this another try. I was afraid of things going bad again. I told him I was afraid, but he didn't care though. He knew what he wanted and he was going to get it. I visited them again in January of 2019 when I was 18. And that's when sexual relations began. Oh my god. So before this, she wasn't even 18. I was mistaken. I said she had just turned 18. No. Now she turned 18. At the time, she wasn't even 18. So Sarah was sleeping in their bed and Greg was giving Sarah massages when Sarah wasn't even fucking 18 yet. Is there anything you're willing to share about when the sexual relationship began? I really didn't think anything was going to happen. Greg orchestrated it all. He was in control of the situation. Kai and I just did whatever we were told. The morning after, he made me sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, that he printed out of his printer. So I had to lie to my family, friends, and bosses. I was a teenager and didn't know anything. I didn't know if it was real. He told me it was legal. What happened when you came back? Greg was texting me and called me saying that Kai was crying and I needed to make this video to send them. So I did. You can see here the text messages that Onision sent to manipulate Sarah into making the video that she didn't want it to make. How do you feel about the video in hindsight? I have bloopers up on my Twitter that I uploaded later on of me crying. I did not want to make that video. I never said no to them, so I tried to keep the video as vague as possible because I knew what I was going to say in that video to not be true. I do not like lying, but I lied for them a lot. You can see how uncomfortable I am because I knew he was going to post that. It had me very stressed. When was your final trip? From mid to late July of 2019. While Kai was in New Mexico, Greg cheated on Kai with me. Greg and I dated for like 2 weeks. He would just start shit with us for no reason. He said I had blackmailed them into having sex with me, but that it wasn't rape because I had made a joke about the NDA. I just packed up all my shit and left with no car or money. I was going to sleep on the street and Kai called me saying, "You can't do that." When I got back, Greg treated me like I was 16 again, and he was so mean. He would ignore me, saying I was manipulative. He drove me to the airport, and that's the last time I saw him. So this happened. The last time that Sarah saw Greg was in July. So it has been just fucking 5 months at max. It has been just 5 months. And Sarah is speaking out about this stuff. On the internet, the time works really, really strangely. On the internet, 2 days are equivalent of 2 years. Time flies by really fast on the internet. But to think that Sarah has gone through all of this horrific, horrific stuff, and it has been just 5 months, and she is talking about it. She's coming out and publicly speaking out about it. It takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of courage to do something like that. I mean, I don't think a lot of people would be capable of talking about this right after something horrific like this had happened. But Sarah is doing it, and she is the catalyst of all of this. Because of her speaking out about her experiences, now Chris Hansen is getting involved. Now FBI is getting involved. It was her story that was the catalyst of all of this, and I don't know. I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed at Sarah's strength. Anyways, we're at the end of this article. Why did you speak out about this? I started speaking out and saying all this stuff actually happened. I was a secret to everyone. Friends and family, nobody knew about me, and they wanted to keep it that way forever. This screwed with my health. Before I came back in June, my eyes became puffy because of all the stress. They think it's an autoimmune disease triggered by stress. They gave me that, and I have to have that for the rest of my life. I had this realization that it was not an okay thing to have happened, and I didn't want anybody else to go through it. There's a huge gap there and power dynamic. So, my thoughts on this entire article is that it's really detailed. It is a really long article. It's easy to follow because we're not jumping around in time. It is linear progression. So, yeah. This story is not going fucking anywhere. These victims of Onision will get fucking justice because what happened to Sarah, what happened to any of these girls, it's not okay. It was never okay. And this is just the start of it. So, I have been recording for an hour now. I'm gonna stop. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment your thoughts down below on this entire article. What do you think about this? This article was a really good Christmas gift. Subscribe for more content. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. And goodbye. This channel now has 96 subscribers. And I'm just thinking, like, why? I don't even know how to feel. I mean, that means that there are 96 people on this earth who saw one of my videos and were like, yeah, I want videos from this girl in my subscription feed. And I just wanted to say thank you to those 96 people out there in this world who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you.